about dividing a decimal by a decimal number. Method 2. Earlier, in a different video, we learned to divide a decimal by a decimal number. First, we converted the dividend into a fraction and then converted the divisor into a fraction. Then we multiplied the dividend fraction with the reciprocal of the divisor fraction. After that, we simplified the fraction, or the answer. But there's another way for dividing a decimal by a decimal number. But before we learn about doing that, let's first refresh our memories about the definitions of division. Let's say we have 0.7 divided by 0.14, which is equal to. Now, 0.7 is a dividend. The dividend is the number that gets divided by the divisor. 0.14 is the divisor. The divisor is the number that divides the dividend. Now, let me draw this out. You have your division sign, and now you put the dividend, 0.7, inside the division sign, and you put the divisor, 0.14, outside the division sign. Now let's look at an example. Let's say we have 2.25 divided by 0.5 is equal to. Now, 2.25 is the dividend and 0.5 is the divisor. Now, let's draw our division sign. 2.25 goes inside the division sign. And 0.5 goes outside the division sign. Now, we got here. What do we do now? Well, step 1 is to move the decimal point on both sides to the right until the divisor, 0.5, becomes a whole number. So, let's move the decimal point to the right one side. So, the decimal point goes here, and the decimal point goes here. So now, instead of having 0.5, we have 5. And instead of having 2.25, we have 22.5. Let me rewrite this. We have 22.5 inside the division sign and 5 outside the division sign. Now, let's start doing our division. 5 times 4 is equal to 20. You subtract 20 from 22. You get 2. Now you have your decimal point. You carry your decimal point up. So it becomes 4 point. And then now you have 5. You carry your 5 down and it becomes 25. 5 times 5 is equal to 25. So you subtract 25 from 25 and you get 0. 0 is your remainder. So we figured out that 2.25 divided by 0.5 is equal to 4.5. Now, let's look at another example. Let's say we have 9.5 divided by 0.19 is equal to. Now, 9.5 is the dividend and 0.19 is the divisor. Now, let's draw this out. This is our division sign. Now we put the dividend, 9.5, inside the division sign. And then we put the divisor, 0.19, outside the division sign. So, we got this far. Now we have to do step 1. Step 1, again, is to move both the decimal points to the right 1 space. So, we move our decimal point here, and we move our decimal point here. So, instead of having 0.19, we have 1.9, and instead of having 9.5, we have 95. Now, let me rewrite this equation. We have our division sign, and now we have 1.9 outside the division sign, and 95 inside the division sign. Now, 1.9 is not a whole number yet. So, what do? Well, we move the decimal point again 1 space to the right. But 95 is a whole number. So what do? Well, we take out the decimal point, and then instead of the decimal point, we put a 0. So, now we move the decimal point here. So, instead of becoming 1.9, we have 19, and instead of becoming 95, we have 950. Now, let me rewrite this equation. We have our division sign, then we have 950 inside, 19 outside the division sign. Now, let's do our division. 19 times 5 is equal to 95. So you subtract 95 from 95, you get 0. Now we don't have a decimal point, so we carry down our 0, and it becomes 0. And 19 times 0 becomes 0. So you subtract 0 from 0, and you get 0. But this 0 is the remainder. So, now we know that .5 divided by 0.19 is equal to 50. Today we learned about dividing a decimal by decimal number. Method 2. Thank you for watching this